So, Steph, do you have any particular questions for me about this last lesson that you did with Isaac?
Um, I was just seeing if, because I know we talked about breaking it out into the three parts. So I tried my best to, introduce it to him in the three different ways and then approach it that way. So I was seeing if, when you watched it, if you thought that was the correct way to go about that with him.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. I think with his particular learning style, that if you had tried to give him all three questions to look at simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
that he might have been, just undone by
Right.
that kind of a thing. So I even loved the order that you presented them in, because what kind is the easiest one?
Right.
It's a shaggy dog. It's a big test. And then when you went to how many, that was really good as well, because you gave him some ideas. It wasn't just numbers, but it was perched. I love that you mixed those in there as well. And then with the last one, which one? That is definitely the hardest.
Yeah.
For all students, not just for him, but all students that I've taught that to. They have the hardest time. And when you put that word box, the text box there, and you said it would be like these and that,
Mm-hmm.
that was absolutely just perfect for him, because you could even, the text box, he struggled with that first sentence
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't figure out which word it was, even with you showing him, well, here are some words to look for. But then, he got into the flow and used that text box. I thought that was just, you hit right on it right there.
Right.
You broke it out into the three pieces. You worked on each one and gave him the opportunity to practice each one individually.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the highlighting. I thought that was a way for, even though it was just sentences and locating, it made it fun. You still gave him something that had to do.
Right.
And I thought that was just marvelous. I wouldn't have known. I was really impressed. Oh, look at that. It's right on the screen.
Yeah.
I just thought that was super. And another thing that I really liked is how you were building on the prior knowledge that he had by reviewing with him what's a noun, what's a verb.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I have ever heard him give a cohesive definition for something.
I know. I was very surprised too. He actually said it word for how I said it to him.
That's amazing, because he hasn't been able to really, he can remember the words that are in a definition, but he can't
Right.
in that cohesive look. And I was just blown away. I thought, oh, you've got through to him. Okay, it's sticking there. And I love that he had the opportunity, when he was looking for the adjectives, to go back and find the noun. That seemed like a strategy that he latched onto himself.
Right.
And then to find the noun first, which is an exceptional strategy. That's exactly how he should have done it. So
Right.
I thought that was a great building lesson, where you took the prior knowledge, and then you said, how can I review it, and then how can I get him to build onto this?
Mm-hmm.
And you did it, and it was really well done.
Right.
He made sure that everything he did specifically related to the nouns, and he knew what a noun was, and he was able to tell you what the noun was. So that was really cool, too.
Right.
Under instructional resources, I thought it was great that you used the Shirley Grammar program, the questions that came from what he had in sixth grade. So you were taking that resource, and then you came up with your own resources to add additional definitions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sentence with the highlighter, and then finally that computer game. All of those things, you're seeing it, I know from reading your response sheet, and then I'm seeing that computer is what draws him in and keeps him from getting distracted by, obviously there's other things going on in the building, but he's completely engaged.
Right.
And, I thought that was really good as well. And obviously that goes with technology and the fact that you're building on his love for using the computer and the fact that it's keeping him so connected.
Mm-hmm.
And then academic language was another thing that we were looking at in this particular lesson. Obviously, he was able to give you the now they mean. So you're speaking the school language, and he's responding, which I thought was really good as well. And then the other thing that was impressive was the I do it, we do it, you do it, that model.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to see. It's so clear that you're using that model.
Right.
And it's very easy to see that you're doing that. So I just thought it was a great lesson. I wish that you could have recorded what he was doing playing the game, because I was interested in seeing what turtlediary.com offered for that. But you were off to, the 15 minutes that I saw, you were off to a great start, and I kind of figured that the rest of it probably was more fun and less stressful for him to do. So how did the computer program, the game go for him?
It was good. I mean, he went through and it gave sentences, and then it either said it was the 3 different types of adjectives, and he had to pick what it was in the sentence. So like it wasn't timed or anything, and he got to spend as much time as he wanted on it. So that's kind of like where I go about with him, like as games go, because sometimes things come too quick and he can't read them quick enough to give the answer. So this one, you get to spend his time. And he really enjoyed it. He's like, after it was done the first time, he asked if he could play it again. So.
Oh, awesome! That's great. That's exciting. Yeah, I think that when you first came, you were trying to